teen who was found guilty of 15-year-old Elianne Andam. I was watching the arrest video of this boy, a British Ugandan. Yeah, a British Ugandan. We're going to start labeling people's things like that as well, you know, Noble. People's origins are going to come off the back of British. We're not going to say black British. We're going to say British Jamaican or British Trinidadian or British. That's how we're doing it now.
Yeah, man. We have to keep the language crystal clear, man, because that geosocial political term black encompasses a lot of people, boss.
Exactly, a lot of people. Now, this is a black... Noble just said it, and I'll go and say it. This is a British Ugandan who was dating a young girl. Now, what had happened was him and the young girl had broken up. Now, they broke up, and they decided that all of the gifts they exchanged, they were going to give each other back. So they planned to meet. Now, when they went to meet, Noble, there was a teddy that this British Ugandan wanted back off the girl. The teddy wasn't given back, and Elianne grabbed something from the guy. She ran. He proceeded to chase her. He then in the neck repeatedly, and he fled the scene, dashed the knife, and police caught up to him. There's actually a video. We'll watch the video too. Police caught up to him. So we're gonna break this thing down. Let's go to the shame stream.
Yes, shame, lame stream media. Let's drop it.
Let's drop it, man. Let's go, people.
We came to collect the stuff from Hassan.
Smiling and laughing, this is Elianne Andam.
He didn't even bring the stuff.
Mere moments before she was killed. The 15-year-old had gone with a friend who was meeting her ex to return each other's belongings. But the former boyfriend, 17-year-old Hassan Sentamu, turned up without the girl's things, including a teddy bear she desperately wanted back. Instead, he wore a mask, gloves, and carried a foot-long kitchen knife.
So hold on quickly, people. This is a brother, who's 17, dating a 15-year-old. So bear that in mind for when we break this thing down, all right?
CCTV on a passing bus captured the moment that Elianne, trying to support her friend, snatched Hassan's returned bag of clothes from his hands and ran. But he gave chase and stabbed the schoolgirl 4 times in a moment of white-hot rage. The 15-year-old died there on the street. Her family wrecked with grief and loss.
Growing up, she's always been the child that every parent will wish their child to be. Lovely, bubbly, outgoing, so much to live for.
And what has this done to your family?
Broken, very broken. Every single one of us is broken.
Cousins are broken, aunties, nephews.
Anxiety.
Today, after 16 long months, a sense of justice. Now aged 18, Hassan Sentamu has been convicted of murder.
I'm looking for someone who's just stabbed someone.
Here's the video. Here's the video, people. This is the video when they caught him. It's the video when they caught him.
Sentamu was arrested 90 minutes after the attack. The court heard how his difficult childhood involved a catalogue of aggressive, threatening behaviour, sometimes involving knives.
Look at the clothes. Remember last week when we spoke about the uniform?
Death, where the girls and their friends pushed him to apologise for his behaviour during the breakup. They teased him about his appearance and threw water at him. That night, he told a friend, "I can't let this slide."
I think that's really chilling because the next morning he wakes up and instead of taking a teddy bear to a meeting, we hear he puts on 2 pairs of gloves, a face mask, and he goes downstairs.
Premeditated,
and picks
people.
out a kitchen knife from
Premeditated.
below the kitchen sink.
Sentamu admitted killing Elianne but denied her murder, instead pleading guilty to manslaughter with diminished responsibility. His lawyer said his autism led to a loss of control.
Autism?
So much of the arguments in court focused on psychiatric evidence.
In these areas of disagreement, the key thing is for the psychiatrist to be able to clearly explain to the jury and to the court what these areas of differences are. We're definitely in a grey area, I think. a grey area, because what we're talking about is the way a person reacts and interacts with the world around them.
Elianne's family face a future without their bright, bubbly girl, a teenager who loved music, dancing and church, who had her life taken in a moment of laughter while trying to support a friend.
Rise in Paradise again. I remember when we covered this one initially when it happened. It's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking to see the youth just throwing their lives away over, I mean,
Hello, just
breakup, stressful situation. They're amicably trying to come to some kind of arrangement to meet up. That seems very proactive and adult-like behavior to try and do that, to get some kind of closure. But him doing that, and now I'm hearing them bringing the autism thing into it. There's two things with that. There is a world, unfortunately, now where, in my opinion, people are being just labeled, you're on the spectrum somehow. You know, it's thrown out quite easily. But on the other hand, I mentioned it, everything you see, we've got webs and threads and stuff, and when you pull on a thread, it takes you places. When you go down rabbit holes, it takes you places. Now, I keep on mentioning diet, I keep on mentioning inoculations and vaccinations for children and all this kind of stuff. We're getting that. It goes without saying, there is a rise of people with disorders. We can't shoo that away. Historically, when I was growing up, those people weren't mixed with quote unquote people who were normal. They went to special schools and stuff. Nowadays, you have people on very low spectrum with autism to people with very high spectrum needs who have to be chaperoned and stuff, and they're in mainstream schools. This, to me, that's part of the problem. If indeed this youth, this son of the devil who took that poor child's life, indeed have autism, what are we doing? This is a recipe for disaster. So we're setting up young children, to fail in every aspect of their life, from primary school to secondary school. There's too many children in the school, in the class itself. When I went to secondary school, we had the largest form. We had like 5-6 forms for the first year before we jumped to the year 9s and all this foolishness. We had to break it down like that because we had a maximum of, was it 20 pupils to each teacher, or 25 it was. That's just new rules now. They're jamming as many damn children into these classes with all different types of woes and problems and this and that, with normal quote unquote people who again have got their own problems. They're suffering with whatever. They've got a terrible situation back home, but we've got people who should be looked after. They should be potentially medicated. They should be cared for outside of this. So we've got that. So let's take away the fact that if indeed he was autistic, he's killed someone. This youth has taken a knife and stabbed the girl repeated times in the neck and has taken her life.
4 times. In the neck 4 times. Premeditated, Noble.
There we go. Not, oh, something's happened, let me just grab the nearest thing, as people do, unfortunately. No, I am going to put double layers of this thing on. I'm going to mask up. I'm going to do a girl child. He would have been diagnosed. People would have spoken to him. His parents, his uncle, his friends would have known what type of behavior he has, and would have said, wait a minute, nah, he's at this age now. He's violent. He's doing this. He's doing that. We need to put things in place to protect not only him, but the public. They're allowing dangerous people to be amongst us. And the result is people are dying. School children are dying. That lunatic, another child of the devil, went around with the crossbow and killed the youths.
Now, as far as autism, yeah, I feel very insulted that they think people are stupid enough to believe that autism had anything to do with this. Matter of fact, this is a slap in the face to people who have autism. Autism will not give you this type of aggression to do a crime like this. This was a boy who was dangerous and known to the police way before he done this crime. He had a history of knife crime. The system knew that, but he was still allowed to roam around the public. That could be because the money's being misused towards the mental health sector. That could be because, you know, he didn't actually probably do anything that they could detain him for any long periods of time. But I'll go with the earlier statement. I think there's not enough money within the system to keep these guys away from the public. Now,
Facts.
I gave you the age difference. A guy like this, they don't have nothing going for themselves. They're very young. He probably thinks the world's against him. Probably got a very bad relationship at home with his family. And this is a boy, who's probably just hanging around on the roads regularly and trying to meet girls. And he's met a young girl who's 15. A lot of these girls that are in school act older than they are. So a lot of them date older boys. That's how it happens. Now, I agree.
And look older than they are as well.
And look older than they are. But a lot of these boys, yeah, that they're dating, that are hanging about, they don't know, like, these man's history, where they're coming from. These guys are just giving these young girls lyrics. But when things go sour, and you see when these guys get aggressive, that's what you see what they're actually made of, what they actually do. It's when things go bad. Now, this boy, yeah, stabbed this girl 4 times in the neck. He went there to kill this girl, you know. He went there to kill this girl. But how did we get to that point? People, this weren't even the girl that he was dating. So it goes again into what we always say. Sometimes, yeah, you got to watch the company you keep. And I'm telling you now, now more than ever, we have to start highlighting this. You have to watch the company that you keep, because she probably just thought, I'm helping out my friend. He was going there to kill his girlfriend. That's what he was going to do. And she intervened helping her friend and ended up losing her life. But a boy like this, don't just wake up one day and do a crime like this. A boy like this may have gotten away with 3 to 4 things and could have displayed this type of aggression previously. A lot of these boys are angry at the world. They don't even know why they're angry at the world, but they are angry at the world and moving around the UK with a view to offloading that anger. They are cowards and they look for weak targets.
Yes.
So now more than ever, it's our job. You got to first start with the man in the mirror to ensure that our family members, those that we love, our neighbors, etc., stay away from people like this. Now, I know a lot of people say, you don't know. People, every man out there is a threat. You don't know what someone's going through. You don't know what someone's headspace is like. Every man's a threat. Every single man. So, as family members, we have to now start getting into that space where we adopt a zero tolerance attitude. Now more than ever, prevention is better than cure. This boy, just look at him, yeah? He didn't even show any kind of remorse for this crime. He didn't show no kind of remorse for this crime. It's something that we have to understand, that these men are doing these crimes, yeah? And we're going to go into the comments in a second. But this is why we're going to start labeling these individuals. We're going to start labeling them, because Black British is an unfair term.
Yes.
And I feel like us at Express Truth, we can slowly change things. But my man is not part of my community.
Nope.
He's not part of my community. I'm going to tell you like that. So.
Hello, just listen to me. Hassan, it's murder, right? You're under arrest for murder. No longer GBH with consent.
He had a history of knife violence. See, she showed a gesture of solidarity with her friend. He failed to bring his ex-girlfriend's teddy bear to the pre-arranged item exchange. He can be seen on CCTV footage heading toward the meeting point in Croydon. When he didn't produce the bear, Elaine grabbed his bag and attempted to run away. He gave chase and would go on to repeatedly stab her in the neck. Footage captured movements after he fled the scene following the attack. What did he think, Noble? Did he think he was going to get away?
How do you even get into the mind of madness? I don't even know. I don't even know. I hazard to even try and get into that kind of mindset. Yeah, I'm not. This is all by design. History of knife crime. History of knife crime. So what? So where's the zero tolerance? Where's the harsh sentences and the punishment? Stop people from carrying such weaponry. Like, come on, society has gone so far south. It's unbelievable.
Sorry, the
man.
sound's coming in now, Noble. So, all right, people, this is the arrest footage.
John, you got any idea on your right? I'm looking for someone who's just stabbed.
Now, hold on, people. I gotta pause this, yeah. Remember this, yeah. Just remember this. This boy has just stabbed his girlfriend's best friend 4 times in the neck. That's what he's just done. This is less than an hour after, you know, this footage. He stabbed her 4 times in the neck. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at his eyes. Does this look like a man who's just committed a crime like that? Look how calm he is after the fact. Even amongst the listen.
Say something else, Scott. Put your hands behind your back.
Right.
Put your hands behind your back now.
Oh, right.
Listen. Right.
Oh, no, wait.
Listen, you're on camera. Listen, you're on camera. Right now.
I didn't even do nothing, bro.
Put your hands right there. Put me on.
Now remember these people, this is how worthless the girl's life was to him. Think about that. Just think about how meaningless this girl's life was to this boy. Where does that come from? Where does that come from that a man can take a life like that and after the fact, he shows no remorse? These people ain't even normal. These 2 cases today, these people are not even normal human beings.
No.
There was nothing that happened. Even if he was splashed with water and he was embarrassed, there was nothing that happened to warrant what he did. Nothing at all.
Urgent assistant, King Henry's Drive near the park. I'm marked. I've got the smell detained.
All right, look at that. Look. Hold on. Let's go back. Look at this. He was caught playing truant, produced a knife during a lesson, and threatened to kill himself. Now remember this, Noble. This is when he was in school. He brought a knife to school and threatened to kill himself. If a man's doing that in school,
come on, man.
Do you believe that it's the right idea to allow this boy back out into the public?
He should not be out.
He should not be in the public, full stop.
No, so he's a danger to the public, and this is the point. They're letting these people out to roam the streets to cause chaos and confusion, and to unfortunately to take people's lives. Listen, as you said, we got to protect ourselves, man. We got to be training our children. We got to be retraining ourselves. You know what I mean? To realize how, unfortunately, how wicked this place is. They've literally pressed the button. Go out there, do your thing. We'll clean up after.
There's a lot of people like this amongst us, you know. Just remember that, folks. There's a lot of men like this amongst us that are just waiting. They're just waiting.
I'm marked. I've got the smell detained. You're under arrest on suspicion or GBH with intent. That's for stabbing your girlfriend in Croydon this morning, okay? In regards to that, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. Not many something to rely on in court. Anything you do say.
All right, listen to this. This is a second offence. So he's already brought a knife to school and threatened to kill himself. Now in 2019, following a spat with another pupil, he threatened the boy with a pair of scissors. So this weren't lightning that struck once. This boy has a history of violence. He's got a history of violence. So you think now, yeah, the boy's, every time he seems to get into some sort of argument, extreme violence is threatened. Bound to happen, Noble. It was bound to happen. If it wasn't her, it would have been someone else. He was just waiting for the right person to piss him off or whatever the case may be.
You're going to be searched down section 32. Where's the knife? Where's the knife?
Oh my days, there's a third offence. Look at this. Let's go back. Listen, so after the first 2 that I've just mentioned here, weeks later on a school trip, he threatened another pupil with a knife. So we got 3 different incidents and the boy ain't even left school yet. What was he doing around members of the public, folks? We have to start questioning the system now. Who makes the decision to put this boy back out into the general public? Then the same system interview the parents. Noble, these are little girls who, all of us went to school. We know that the girls in school, they were messing with older boys.
Of course.
Look at the danger that he posed to society. You know how scary that is, knowing that he was even dating one of these girls. You would have never been able to break up with him. This is a crash out, Noble. This is a mentally ill crash out. But at the same time, the system failed here. They're showing us 3 different extreme, violent, would-be crimes.
Let's beep it. School, this all happens. So that's the education system. The education system would be linked based upon his behavior to what the social services system. Also, a knife was involved, so that then will be linking him to what the judicial system, the police authorities. Okay, so we've got 3 bodies, and then who else we've got? We've got the parents of the victim and the perpetrator. Now we've got 2 families involved. Out of all of that, 3 separate incidences, those 3 governmental organizations and these parents, not Nagwan. Oh, we'll leave the predator, who clearly can't deal with try and get a girl of his age or older, so he will prey on a young, malleable mind of a 15-year-old girl, and do wickedness and commit these high levels of violence. They should be taken to court, all of them. All of them.
The system needs to be held accountable. But
yes,
let's have an uncomfortable conversation. People, let me turn the main camera back on for this. Let's have a real uncomfortable conversation right now. So we need to talk about this because a lot of people, they fail to bring these points to the forefront. Now, this boy is from Uganda, yeah? Now, he's came over here. We don't know when he's came over. But as we know, there's certain part of Africa, yeah? Certain parts of Africa where there's madness going on, Noble. Like, we don't even need to... Madness going on. A lot of these youths, some of them have came from being child soldiers and all that, you know. You know that?
Civil wars, tribal wars, all kinds.
A lot of these men have seen madness. Like, there's... Just go and watch Beast of No Nation. Yeah, watch Blood Diamond, the opening sequences where rebels would just come into a village and just tear that thing apart and take youths. Yeah. Now, a lot of these men get found by their families and come straight to the UK. Is there any kind of... what's the correct word? Is there any kind of... I'm not making no excuse, by the way, but I'm just showing you where a lot of the mindset comes from. This ain't a UK mindset. This ain't a UK... I'm going to start saying things raw, you know. This ain't a UK mindset.
No.
This ain't no UK... Stabbing girls. That was never normal. That was never something that men were doing. I'm not saying there were a few sickos disguised as roadmen who done mad things, but stabbing girl? Come on, man. This is getting crazy, but a lot of these, man, they're coming from a place that...
Where life isn't valued.
Thank you.
Let's just say it how it is. There's no value on life whatsoever. And then you come over here, and also over there, with them there, they've got the internet, and the internet is doing what? It's desensitizing this whole plane of existence that tunes into these digital media devices. It's desensitizing into violence. It's desensitizing male and female relationships. This is a recipe that's been cooked up by witches and demons, and it's put out digitally, and it's self-fulfilled because we have access to it. And when we want to get programmed more, we put up and look at this device.
Exactly. Let's go back into this.
I don't have a knife.
I don't have any knife on me, bro.
He dashed the knife.
I've nicked him. Just help me with the search.
All right, look. He was placed in a pupil referral unit, but his behavior continued to be disruptive and aggressive. So what was he doing on the roads?
Come on.
What was he doing on the road?
Is it? I've got his voice. I've got him. I've already told him he's searched under 32 place.
2 weeks after being charged with murder and remanded in custody, he threatened another inmate. So remember, he's still not showing no remorse yet.
Confirm he's secure. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've got him handcuffed. He's got the oyster card.
He told the inmate, "Do you want to end up 6 feet deep like her?"
What's the time?
What's going on in these prisons, man?
9:45. Hassan, you're under
I've already
arrest.
arrested him.
Okay,
Yeah,
lovely.
cool.
Cool. What do you need?
Just a search, yeah, just a 32.
Right.
What have you got on you?
G-Blank with intent at the moment. That's the thing they told us she passed away. Just update you, mate. Hello, just listen to me. Hassan, it's murder, right? You're under arrest for murder. No longer GBH with intent.
I don't know. This place is getting very, very, especially in London, they have very, very limited resources. For example, in the last 10 years, the number of beds in hospitals have been reduced by 50%. This is NHS hospitals. So you can just imagine the number of beds capacity that's been reduced to aid mental health. For instance, if you're from Brum, you would know of a huge sprawling metropolis called All Saints. It was a mental institution right next to Winston Green Prison. They knocked that damn thing down, which was housing possibly 1,000+ people. Yeah, knocked it down, sold it to developers, built houses on there, and then rebuilt a small unit which could probably house maybe 100 people. So now they call it care in a community to remove all of this infrastructure, all of this protection, these layers of protection for people out here working and paying into the system, yeah, for roads to be safe, for people who have not got money to have benefits, for people with mental illnesses, for children with no parents have children's homes. They've reduced all of that, Mark. So now care in the community is pushing these unstable people out into the community to harm, to steal, to burglarize, to become drug addicts, to be more further systemized.
There's a lot more of these guys now. We don't know where these man. A lot of these men are coming straight from Beast of No Nation settings. That's not the way of the UK. That's not how we do things. That's not how we do things here, man. That's not how we do things. These men are just going. They're taking it to a mental health level. They're taking it to, and they have no regard for life.
None.
They think that it's not the Wild West here. You don't attack.
They think they're back home, as we said. The level of some of these people in certain districts and stuff, it's just pure savagery. It's pure savagery. So the value is only put upon the people who are in your clan per se. Outside of that, and especially if you're in now a first world country, the brains of the beast, and you've got the quote unquote indigenous walking around here. Well, they don't value that. In essence, that's a trophy if you can do something crazy to them.
You remember that guy called there was back in the day, I think going back about 5 years ago, there was a guy called African Child, that's his name.
I knew you was going.
African Child, and do you remember he used to like make videos and that?
Crazy videos, Mark. He was sick, he's got illnesses.
But he was on some like, yo, F that. Da, da, da. Like I remember thinking, yo, my man's gonna kill somebody, you know. He was from Congo.
Yep, yeah.
And you know what I mean? And you got to think to yourself, now, no disrespect to the Congolese brothers out there, but what did that guy see? That African child, how he was carrying himself, and he was like hiding under the guise of Black British.
Yeah.
No, let's keep this real, but he couldn't, no disrespect, because I know man think, no disrespect to my African brothers, but he didn't even sound English. His accent didn't even set in yet. And I'm like, yo, it's these kind of men that are committing these heinous acts. And then we're getting labelled.
Yeah. The people them are looking at that and saying, yeah, it's them. It's these black guys. They're doing all this stuff, man.
Just listen to me.